One of the most common factors in a relationship breakup is alcohol. Just recently, Spencer Matthews revealed he was, in his words, a slave to the bottle, and having his first baby with Vogue forced him to look at how much he was drinking. Meanwhile, loose man Tommy Fury says the reason his relationship with Molly Mae ended was his reliance on alcohol. Now, something Molly discusses with her mum in her documentary series. Have a look at this. Yeah, look, the effects of alcohol are really far-reaching. Have you ever worried you were drinking too much at home? How about our panel here? And it's not always Jordan, people falling down drunk. It's not always big night outs. It can be more subtle, more nuanced.
Way more subtle than that. And I think that's the thing for me personally. I can only speak from a personal experience. I actually don't have many friends, many family members. Definitely not within my family. Like, my older brother doesn't drink at all. My little sister has a couple here and there of her friends, but, like, very controlled of it. My mum, not really. My dad doesn't drink at all either. So I grew up really not around a lot of drinking. And it wasn't for me until I hit lockdown. When I went into lockdown out of nowhere, I started drinking, and then it became a daily thing. And once it becomes a habit, it's a hard thing to break. And this is going to sound so stupid, but I was like, what, 28 in lockdown, when lockdown first hit. I know it's going to sound so dumb. It was almost like being 16, 17. I was like, oh, hang on a minute. I could just drink this and feel drunk and feel a bit merry. And it just became constant, to the point where in 2023, November 2023, I had to just cut drinking cold. I was like, I'm not drinking anymore at all. Because when I started to get to the point where, I don't know, I was having dinner with my family or with my wife, but yeah, I'm just going to take my plate out to the kitchen and I'm secretly topping up, hoping I don't get caught, or I'm up early for radio, right? And I'd say to my wife, oh, I'm going to stay in the spare room so I don't wake you up. She'd be like, OK, wicked, I'll see you in the morning. And I'm in there having drinks. Like, I genuinely was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm sitting here, I'd get my iPad out, be like, oh, Netflix. There we go, oh, lovely, copper. But I'm just sat in bed, just drinking at, like, 8:30 at night on my own, hoping I don't get caught. And for me, it just become one of them things that just snuck up so gradually. And I noticed a difference in my relationship, in my parenting, and a lot of stuff, because I was just vacant. Yeah. And a lot of the time thinking about, I can't wait till the kids go to bed so I can have a drink. Yeah. And I just found myself in that situation out of nowhere from someone who had never drunk really at all. And now when I speak about it, like, I speak it openly now because my friends and my family know, but a couple of my friends were, like, quite upset. They're like, bro, I had zero idea. Because I'd had to completely... Me and Pete filmed a show together, Real Full Monty, and it affected everything. Like, I walked in about 5 stone heavier than I am now. I'm trying to dance and rehearse, teach Pete how to... Pete was better than me. I was standing there trying to teach him.
Let's not go too far.
Seriously, like, I was in rough shape on that filming day. I was popping out and having a couple of drinks. It just wasn't good.
There is drinking out of habit, and then, Pete, there's drinking to mask feelings, repressed feelings, maybe trauma in your early life, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with family that had alcohol dependencies, and I think I would never have considered myself to be someone who had a problem with drinking, but... You know, up until Strictly really changed my kind of drinking habits, because pre that, I was a pretty heavy drinker for 15 years. I mean, to the point where I'd have a bottle of wine a night, every night. And that's just cooking and just, you know, just chilling out. And it was my way of kind of chilling out. Until I kind of did Strictly and kind of stopped drinking and realised that actually all that was doing was kind of numbing parts of my reality. And it became a habit to the point where I was functioning by just carrying on doing that, and it didn't really bother me, and I didn't get hangovers, and I didn't really get come-downs or anything like that. I was just drinking for the sake of drinking, but also it gave me kind of a reason to numb how I was feeling a lot of the time. That's what alcohol used to do to me. And it was only really, you know, through Strictly, and it wasn't a conscious decision, it was just the fact that, you know, trying to learn a waltz with a slightly fuzzy head is quite difficult. You know, it's quite difficult. But what I've noticed since I've stopped drinking as much, and I still have, you know, I went out with the boys on Saturday night and had a few drinks, but I'm not drinking on a daily basis now, is the clarity that I have in my everyday life. Everything seems to be less fuzzy and a little bit more clear.
One of the things they say is, like, if drinking affects your work or relationships, no matter how often you're doing it, well, then it's a problem. I'm just wondering, Danny, you're on the road, you're a pop star, drinking's part and parcel of it, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, it was for a while. I mean, I have very happy memories of, you know, playing in pubs when I was younger and seeing the joy that drink and music can bring to everybody, you know? And then it was only when I had friends close to me that had an issue with it, and then I was under trauma myself, say if I had something like an anxiety or not quite balanced mentally, I didn't like the person I became when I drunk. And then also, I'd have like 5 Coronas before I went on stage just to get me through something that I didn't feel quite mentally ready for. So the Corona became, you know, that beer. There are other beers out there, but, you know, that beer became safety and it became a habit. It's like, oh, if I don't have that, then I might not do a good gig. So, yeah, you know, you are around it all the time. It's just I didn't like the person I'd become. And I think you've got to be careful of the condition that you're in when you're drinking. I think that, you know, really enhances, you know, it enhances your emotions.